Cashless Society here again today, and I wanted to talk to you again about RIOT Blockchain because it's blowing up. But first, before I jump into it, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, the notification bell as well, so it will let you know anytime I make a new video, and let's get started. So, for those of you that don't know, RIOT Blockchain is not a cryptocurrency. It is a company that is predominantly Bitcoin mining focused. A couple things that separate it, which I'm going to get into more in detail, is for one that it's traded on the NASDAQ. So it's one of very few crypto, specifically Bitcoin mining companies traded on the NASDAQ. And that provides ease of access to purchasing it, and that is one of the reasons why I have, for a couple years thought that this stock could receive some very high demand down the road. So that's why I've kind of zoned in on it, kept paying attention to it, and so on. First and foremost, let me talk about the call options that I have on RIOT. I also have some RIOT shares, but these call options have been absolutely crushing it. First and foremost, this is a screenshot of my portfolio. Of the options. I'm not normally going to show you or show my actual portfolio values on the internet for anyone, but this is just completely separate basically of what I'm doing with crypto, and I also wanted to use it as an example. So I bought these RIOT $5 calls on March 2nd, actually, right before the huge crash. So I'll have you know right away, I bought all of these 20 contracts for $680 when I first purchased them. Then the market dipped. I think the value fell all the way to like 400, maybe 300, not sure. But I just kept them because, like I've said before, I have kind of timelines in mind. For once again with RIOT, I'm trading just like I would trade Bitcoin, and probably most of crypto is on that stock to flow. So Bitcoin's stock to flow ratio just went up with the mining. And I think it's going to peak out potentially December of 2021. So I intend to hold these RIOT options at least till then. Obviously, at that point, I'll start reevaluating the market and see how things are looking. So not a price target for me, more so a timeline. Anyway, so if you don't understand how call options work, this contract, I have 20 contracts, which each contract is worth 100 shares. So I can essentially purchase 2,000 shares of RIOT at $5. And I have until January 21st of 2022 to exercise this option. When I first saw this, obviously, probably not many people in crypto are thinking, outside of crypto, were thinking that crypto was going to blow up again. But for me, I've always thought Bitcoin was going to come back. And RIOT is a Bitcoin mining company, so why not, right? And $5, okay, so during the last run, RIOT went from, I think, $3 in November timeframe to $50 in December. 2 months, basically, it over 10x'd. So it went all the way up to close to $50 in that short of a time frame. And that's just because of a little bit of Bitcoin hype and so on. So my mindset, if RIOT is, if it went all the way to $50 just during that little pump, essentially, if Bitcoin's making new highs, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, if it gets all the way up to 100,000, which I think it can, personally, RIOT's going to pass $50. Bare minimum, though. So with this option to buy 2,000 shares, I can, so if RIOT gets back to $50 with 2,000 shares, I would profit 90,000. So what that means is I would have the option to buy RIOT at $5, which would cost me $10,000, and then I could sell it at $50, which would be $100,000 minus the $10,000 that I paid. So 90,000 in profit. So that's been my mindset all along. That's why I said the risk to reward ratio right there is astronomical in my opinion anyway. So I spend $680 with the chance to profit 90,000. Totally fine with me. I personally think it can go higher than that. I think it could go to 200, 300. I wouldn't be surprised at all. We'll see what happens. But anyway, so that basically breaks it down for you in short terms. As you may know, as of today, Riot is at about, it's at $4 right now, and it peaked out around $4.50. So these options are, I'm already almost at break even. Break even would be $5.34. Realistically, I'm up 482% on the actual contracts. I could just sell them now and take that profit, but I'm waiting until we get closer to this expiration date because I think the Riot shares will be a lot higher. But anyway, as you can see, kind of what I talked about before, Riot got up to $50 roughly back here at the end of 2017. So yeah, it went all the way from 3 down here. Actually, it started about August. So from August to December, from $3 to $50. Anyway, I think we can at least reach that $50 target, and so a $640 investment is fine with me, or $680. The point being, also, I want to talk about a little bit before I get on to the rest of this, is that I've noticed a lot of people say that when it comes to crypto, or you talk to people who are outside of the industry, they say, oh, it's too risky. Oh, that's scary. I don't understand that. It's just like the quick response you get. It's just like, do you really think it's that scary to pay $680 with the potential to reach 90,000 in profits? So just that mindset alone, it's just like, it's not really that scary if you understood finance and how options work and so on. So is it really that scary? Anyway, all right, so I wanted to reevaluate what other what other stocks are out there like Riot, if there's any others. Because like I said, there's very few, and especially traded on the NASDAQ, so I wanted to review them. I did a couple searches for crypto mining stocks. Got this article that came up, so it says that ranking in order great crypto mining stocks. You have Hut 8 Mining at number 1, Hive Blockchain number 2, DMG Blockchain at 3, Marathon at 4, and Codebase at 5. So I thought it very funny that Riot wasn't in here at all, but I saw that as a common theme when I started searching. I feel like Riot is never mentioned in any of these articles, which I find strange because, like I've said, Riot, in my opinion, is the best mining stock to be buying, especially in the United States. But anyway, let's take a look at the charts for all of these different projects or companies. So Hut 8 Mining first. So this one can only be bought over the counter. I think it's traded on a Canadian stock exchange as well. As you can see here, the chart hasn't really reacted to Bitcoin going back up. But with that being said, that means it could be a good buy, right? Not financial advice, just saying, pointing it out. Typically, it just hasn't had its move yet. Like Riot. So that one could be an interesting play. I went through these as well. Later on, I'll cover where you can purchase them if you wanted to. So next up, Hive on the list. This one's been a better performer. In March or December, it fell all the way to 9 cents. In March, it was at 15 cents, and now we're all the way up to 55. So this one is performing similar to the gains you've seen with Riot. DMGI. So this one hasn't really broke out yet. So once again, that could be another one to keep an eye on. And then Code, this one's doing awful. Hasn't seen much progress at all. And then lastly on that list was Marathon. And Marathon, I wanted to show, is actually up better since the dip in March than Riot. It's up 1,300% since that dip. So Marathon, unlike all these other ones, is traded on the NASDAQ as well. So it's basically Riot and Marathon that are going to have very easy access to get to. The other ones, Hut, you can find this on your traditional platforms like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, probably TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, and so on. And the same can be said for Hive as well as Code. So with that being said, when they're traded over the counter or on Canadian stock exchanges, it makes it harder to get to them in general, and also probably a little less interesting to a lot of, maybe financial advisors or institutions, just because of that NASDAQ listing. It's gonna allow that stock to have higher volume and better liquidity naturally. So that's what high up investors or people who have been in here a lot are going to look for: volume and liquidity in order to decide which one's the better buy. But anyway, so that's basically all of them. And then one thing that I noticed is, going back, doing some research, trying to find any articles that would talk about Riot at all. I found this Motley Fool article back in April 2018. So when you search for crypto mining stocks, they come up with all kinds of stuff. Nvidia, AMD, this Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing, Hive's in there, but no Riot. Why? It's just weird. And then this article, I believe, mentions Riot. So it goes AMD, Hive, Hut 8, Northern Bitcoin, and Riot in there. And that's it. So I did a little bit more searching, but I just figured you would see more articles, more mentions of Riot. I personally don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's because maybe they don't want you to know yet, because Riot has a big mining facility in the United States, a huge mining facility. They have some of the best mining cards in the world as well, from Bitmain. So they're good to go. I think it's the best crypto mining play, period. At least in the United States. I'm not sure about anywhere else, but it's pretty obvious to me. It's going to receive high demand because of it being on NASDAQ, as well as it actually being a good stock in general. So long as Bitcoin continues to rise in value, I think Riot's going to rise significantly more percentage-wise. All right, lastly, I just wanted to talk about, I had a few people ask me, can you trade options in crypto? So it's few and far between. Binance is starting to roll out futures and options on their platform. But, simply put, if you come over to here to hedgetrade.com, as well as a couple other articles I read, this one just kind of quickly explains, there's this Deribit exchange. It's in Amsterdam, so I'm not sure if you're going to have access to it in the United States. And then, so LedgerX, this is going to be the one you can definitely get to here in the U.S. It's just supposedly, it's hard to get onto the platform, maybe restriction, KYC requirements, and so on. But all this platform allows you to do is Bitcoin futures and options. And then this last one, QDEX. So ultimately, also, I think Robinhood, as the title of this video says, Robinhood, I think, Riot's going to be the best crypto play on Robinhood as far as stocks go. And the reason I put that there is because, Riot and Marathon are the only ones that are going to be on the Robinhood platform. So these ones are going to draw the most attention, I believe. But all right, I hope that was informative once again. I really appreciate you watching. As always, please like and subscribe, share with your friends and family, and stay tuned for the next one.
What is a cashless society? What does it actually mean in a literal or high-level sense?
Money will become like these, relics of a different age, and will only be found in places like this. In other words, hard cash will disappear. It will become electronic, transferred by things like these.
Then Tracy is in Beijing to show us what a nearly cashless society actually looks like. Ben, good morning.
Mobile payment transactions in China reached a cumulative total of 277.4 trillion RMB in 2018, ranking #1 in the world, according to the recently released statistical report on internet development in China. As of June 2019, online payment users in the country reached 633 million. The cashless society is now approaching.
When's the last time you paid with cash? Well, Well, chances are cash has taken a backseat to the plastic in your wallet and smartphone pay apps.
Denver 7's Ryan Luby explains the digital pay revolution and why not everyone is on board.
The cashless society, the cashless society.
The Cashless Society.
The Cashless Society is now approaching.
The Cashless Society.